The door clicked open with a soft, ordinary sound, so harmless that Daniel didn't realize his life was splitting in two until it was far too late. For half a second, he stood frozen, hand still on the handle, heart stopping as his eyes met a truth he was never meant to see, and from that moment on, nothing, absolutely nothing, was ever the same again. Daniel Reyes was used to accidents. Life as a single dad taught him that. Spilled milk at 6 a.m., missed school buses, forgotten homework, scraped knees, and broken promises from a past he no longer talked about. He worked as a facilities supervisor in a towering glass corporate building downtown, the kind where people in tailored suits walked fast and spoke faster. To them, he was invisible. And honestly, he preferred it that way. Invisible men didn't get hurt as easily. That evening, he was running late. His phone buzzed with a message from his babysitter. His 7-year-old daughter, Sophia, had fallen asleep clutching his hoodie again. Daniel smiled despite his exhaustion. He had promised her he'd be home early. Just one last round, he told himself. Check the executive floor. Lock up. Go home. The executive level was always quiet at night, almost sacred. Thick carpet swallowed footsteps, and the air smelled faintly of polished wood and expensive perfume. Daniel followed his checklist, mind already drifting to bedtime stories and microwaved leftovers. When he reached the end of the hallway, he saw a door slightly ajar. The sign beside it read, Private Office, CEO. He frowned. That door was never left open. Thinking only of protocol, and maybe a little fear of getting blamed, Daniel pushed it open without knocking. And that was the moment. Inside, standing near the desk, was Evelyn Carter. The CEO. The woman whose name made grown executives nervous. Her blazer lay on the chair. Her hair, usually perfectly pinned, spilled over her shoulders. She was mid-motion, slipping into a silk blouse, her back turned, until she gasped and spun around. Their eyes locked. Time collapsed. Daniel's breath caught painfully in his chest. He stared too long, horrified, ashamed, stunned, not by her partial undress, but by the vulnerability on her face. Not the iron CEO. Not the untouchable woman from boardrooms and headlines. Just a woman. Startled. Human. I'm so sorry, he blurted out, already stepping back. I thought, wrong door, I didn't mean. Stop. Her voice was sharp, but it trembled just slightly. Daniel froze. She quickly grabbed her blazer and wrapped it around herself, her jaw tight. The silence between them was unbearable. I should have knocked, Daniel said quietly, eyes fixed on the floor now. This won't happen again. I swear. He turned to leave, heart pounding, humiliation burning his face. Daniel. He paused. She knew his name. I appreciate that, she said after a moment. Please close the door. He did. Gently. Respectfully. All the way home, Daniel's hands shook on the steering wheel. He replayed the moment over and over, hating himself for it. He expected consequences, termination, security escort, humiliation. Men like him didn't survive mistakes like that in places like those. But the next morning, nothing happened. No email. No summons. No whispers. Yet everything felt different. The following week, Daniel noticed small changes. Evelyn Carter began acknowledging him. A nod in the hallway. A quiet good morning. Once, she even asked how his day was going. It unsettled him more than anger would have. He didn't know how to exist in her awareness. Then one evening, long after most employees had gone home, Daniel was repairing a light fixture near the executive wing when he heard muffled crying. He froze. It was coming from her office. He should have walked away. He didn't. The door was closed this time. He knocked softly. Silence. Then, who is it? Daniel, he said. Facilities. I thought I heard something. The door opened slowly. Evelyn's eyes were red. Her makeup slightly smudged. She looked exhausted in a way no magazine cover ever showed. I'm fine, she said automatically. Daniel didn't argue. He simply nodded. Okay. I'll be right outside if you need anything. As he turned away, she spoke again, quieter. Why didn't you report what you saw? He looked back, surprised. There was nothing to report. She studied him for a long moment, as if trying to find a hidden motive. Most people would have. Well, he said softly, most people don't have daughters watching them. Something shifted in her expression then. A crack. A recognition. Come in, she said suddenly. He hesitated. Ma'am. Please. That night, for the first time, Evelyn Carter spoke without armor. She told him about the pressure, the isolation, the expectations. About being constantly watched yet never truly seen. About how the accident, him opening that door, had terrified her, but also reminded her that she was still human. Daniel listened. That was what he was good at. Listening without trying to fix. Without judging. And somehow, in that quiet office, two broken worlds brushed against each other. The night Daniel almost lost everything was the same night he learned that even the most powerful people can be desperately lonely, and that one unexpected moment can bind two strangers in ways neither ever imagined. Nothing exploded into romance overnight. Life didn't work that way. Instead, it unfolded slowly, carefully, like healing. Evelyn began staying late less often. She delegated more. She smiled more, real smiles. Daniel noticed. Others did too. One afternoon, she surprised him by visiting the maintenance floor. She watched him teach a new employee how to fix a faulty circuit, patient and calm. You're a good teacher, she said afterward. He shrugged. Kids will do that to you. She smiled. Sophia, right? He nodded, surprised she remembered. Would you bring her to the company family day this weekend, she asked. As my guest. Daniel hesitated. Pride, fear, and disbelief warred inside him. I don't want special treatment. This isn't that, she said gently. This is appreciation. That weekend, Sophia held Daniel's hand as they walked through the building he usually entered alone. She laughed, wide-eyed, amazed by everything. When she met Evelyn, she looked up at her and said, "My dad fixes broken things." Evelyn knelt to her level. So do I, she replied softly. Months passed. Challenges came, office rumors, internal resistance, Daniel's own fear of crossing lines he respected deeply. At one point, he nearly resigned, convinced his presence complicated her life. But Evelyn stopped him. You didn't complicate my life, she said firmly. You reminded me I had one. The second door that changed everything didn't open by accident. It opened with intention, courage, and trust. And when Daniel stepped through it, this time invited, he understood something profound. Sometimes, life doesn't change because you did everything right. Sometimes, it changes because you chose kindness after doing something wrong. Because you protected dignity. Because you saw a human being instead of a title. Years later, Daniel would still remember the sound of that first door opening. Not with shame, but gratitude. Because on the other side of that mistake was a reminder that even the smallest, most accidental moments can lead to purpose, connection, and a future far better than anything we planned. And that is how one wrong door led to the right life, for both of them.